All right, so the predator bugs are back on the prowl, and I thought it was time to create a new build so that way we can have another variation for how to handle these predator bugs. So I've been playing around with this build for a few days, and I've not only created a build that has increased survivability, but also maximized the green stratagems, and more importantly, it has gave us plenty of crowd control tools to be able to handle all the various variations of aggressive predator strain bugs. Anyways, we're going to be dubbing this build Combat Medic. Let's talk about it. So jumping into our armor passive, we're going to be bringing in the med kit armor passive because, of course, we cannot have a combat medic build without having this passive involved. So what this armor passive does is it increases our overall stims capabilities, meaning that we're going to get 2 extra stims, plus we're going to get 2 seconds added on to that heal over time effect, which is very nice. And we're going to be running the heavy variant of this because it's going to increase our survivability by quite a bit. If you pair the heavy variant plus the heal over time effect with experimental infusion as well as a vitality booster, if you can get one of your teammates to run that, your survivability is going to go through the roof because you're going to be able to take more hits from having heavy armor, as well as getting those bonuses from experimental infusion, from the extra speed increase and the overall damage mitigation. You're going to be an absolute tank at times when you actually are popping your stims. Jumping into the crowd control section, we're going to be bringing 2 different options. We're going to be bringing the gas grenade as our first one. Now this is going to be our on the move crowd control tool, meaning that while we're out and about, we're going to be throwing these around to head off patrols, to deal with any various predator strain bugs that come out of nowhere, and just in general, it's going to be great for being able to just kind of spam throw at our feet or whatever we want to do. So the great thing about this grenade is that it causes caustic damage, meaning that it's going to not only damage the enemies directly with the damage over time effect, but it's also going to confuse them, which is why this grenade is so effective against the predator strains of bugs and just the Terminids in general. It's just an absolutely fantastic grenade. But again, since we're running the heavy medic armor, it's going to actually be a lot easier to traverse through the gas, so we can throw these at our feet, linger in the gas for a moment, pop the stim. The stim is going to out heal the damage over time effect from the gas, so we can actually be dealing damage to the confused bugs while being protected by the gas. So this is actually a very effective strategy overall. Now again, like I mentioned, the gas grenade is just going to be great for being able to head off patrols, going to be great for dealing with breaches and all sorts of various situations where bugs will be coming at us. It's also going to be great for helping us deal with the different charger variants because we throw this in the general vicinity. They'll get confused, run into walls, kill their own allies and whatnot. So it's just an overall very versatile grenade. Next up, we're going to be bringing in the gas mines, and these are going to operate as our large area of effect gas tool. So essentially what we're going to be using these primarily for is against the bug breaches. As soon as you see a bug breach, you're going to call this down. It's going to spread out and make these bug breaches significantly easier. This is great for things like the capture the flag missions, or just in general when a bug breach is occurring. Just throw this down and it's going to make them much easier. So it does the same things as the gas grenade. It stuns them up, does damage over time effect, but at a much larger radius. It has a huge radius. They do a chain effect when they start going off, which is great. So you're gonna have multiple of these going off, and it's gonna be an absolute insane confusion mess for the bugs. Now again, just like the gas grenade, if you want to linger in this because you're running the heavy medkit armor, you can just pop a stim, casually go through this a little bit, and you're going to be able to stay in the gas a little bit longer, which is very nice. But overall, again, you want to try and save these gas mines for those breaches. You have a really fast cooldown on these, so it's just critical that you have these available because they're going to make those breaches so much easier for you and your team. Jumping into the damage section, we have a plethora of options for the damage category. Our first one is going to be the Cookout. Now, the Cookout does operate as our primary source of damage when we're on the move, but it also is a great form of crowd control for a couple of different reasons. So this weapon deals 320 total damage when you hit an enemy with all the pellets. It applies a fire dot over time effect, and it has an insane stagger of 35, which is why it is a secondary form of crowd control for this build, because as you're shooting the bugs, they're going to be flinched and stunned up, and some of them are even going to be going away from you, so that way you can actually have some good distance created between you and all these various bug variants. But again, the biggest reason why we're bringing this is that fire damage over time effect. This deals a lot of damage, so you can just shoot an enemy once, they'll take some passive fire over damage effect. You can also pair this with the gas grenade. You throw a gas grenade out, or the gas mines, you throw it out, and then you can be shooting enemies and lighting them on fire, so they're taking damage from 2 different damage over time sources. It is absolutely ridiculous how strong this combo is, but more importantly, again, this thing is going to be able to help defend us while we're on the move, because we aren't going to be running something like the gas dogs, who's going to actually be able to keep those enemies away from us as we're moving around the battlefield. Next up, we're going to be bringing the machine gun Sentry. Now, the machine gun Sentry is going to be our heavy hitting damage tool because it deals 90 damage per shot, has medium penetration, and has a 76-second cooldown with all the ship upgrades. So it is just absolutely amazing how on demand this thing is, because it's going to be back in about a minute and 20 seconds or so, which is absolutely crazy. Now, this is a great Sentry if you place it well, meaning you place it in elevated advantages, you place it far enough away from enemies so that way it can do some damage. You throw it near a gas mine that you just threw out, or in general, you just have some sort of way to protect it. It's going to absolutely eviscerate a ton of enemies, and it's going to be very good. Now, again, my favorite way to set up the machine gun Sentry is I like to either throw it away from me, somewhere behind the enemies, or off to the side if I'm in the middle of a fight. However, I like to try to premeditate when the enemies are going to be attacking or where it's going to be. So if I see a breach, throw the gas mines out, and I'm going to throw my Sentry down nearby, and then it's going to be able to do a lot of damage to all the bugs coming out of this breach, because they're going to be getting stunned up from the gas mines, and then the machine gun is going to be laying into them. And in other situations, it's going to be great if you place it on some sort of hill or some sort of elevated rock surface or whatever. It's going to be absolutely destroying whatever enemies are in front of it. Now, again, you want to be using this as much as humanly possible because it has such a fast cooldown. You're going to have this constantly, so constantly throw this out and make sure it's doing its work. Next up, we're going to be bringing the rocket Sentry. Now, this is one of my favorite sentries in the game. It is just super effective for a wide variety of reasons, but paired with the machine gun Sentry, it is like the ultimate peanut butter and jelly combo. Now, the rocket Sentry is going to be not only helping us with ad clearing, but it's also going to be doubling as an anti-tank source against the Ball Titans and the Chargers, because it is very effective against them. So this rocket Sentry deals 525 direct damage with each rocket at AP5, which is heavy penetration, with a cooldown of 128 seconds. So you're going to have this back a lot as well, just like the rocket Sentry. So what you want to do is you want to place these nearby each other, meaning that you place the machine gun Sentry and the rocket Sentry kind of close to each other, and the machine gun Sentry is going to do a good job of protecting it, and the rocket Sentry is going to do the same as well. And paired with the gas mines, this is just an absolute elite combination right now in the game, with the machine gun Sentry and the rocket Sentry and the gas mines all in the same vicinity, because they'll be stunned up from the gas mines, and the rocket Sentry will just be absolutely eviscerating whatever comes in the various area as well. So overall, this is one of my favorite things to run in tandem in the game. Jumping into the anti-tank section, we're bringing in the Recoilless rifle. This is arguably the best anti-tank tool in the game and one of the best support stratagems in the game in general. It's just an absolute beast at being able to take on whatever it hits. It has an insane ammo economy of 6 total rockets. You got 1 in the tube and 5 on your back, and then also one-shots everything from the various towers in terms of the Shrieker towers and the Spore towers, but more importantly, it one-shots Ball Titans and Chargers to the face very easily without much trouble. So this is going to be an elite source of anti-tank, which is why I didn't really go heavy on anti-tank for this build, because between the Recoilless rifle being able to take on whatever situation is in front of us and the rocket Sentry giving us some good support, it's going to be absolutely ridiculous how well we're going to be able to clear out these various anti-tank situations that come in front of us. One of the biggest things I do like about the Recoilless rifle, as a side note, is the ease of use. It is so much easier to use than a lot of other anti-tank rockets in the game, because it's just so snappy. It's easy to lock onto your target. It has a good velocity, so it's going to go straight at the targets very quickly. So that way, lining up those headshots is very easy. And then it's going to be extremely strong against those impalers when they burrow their head. It's going to one-shot them the majority of the time if you shoot them in the fleshy area. So overall, the Recoilless rifle is an absolute beast in this build. So our main source of clearing objectives is going to be the grenade pistol. So the grenade pistol is strictly here for not only closing up the bug holes, but dealing with the spear enemies, because yes, you can set them on fire and deal with them with the gas grenade, but the grenade pistol is going to be able to 1 or 2 shot them at the most if you're dealing with the bile spewers. But in general, it is very good at those. But I don't want to be wasting a lot of gas grenades on the bug holes, because we're going to need them quite a lot whenever we're just out and about, just for the various enemies. So I want to bring the grenade pistol to be able to close up those bug holes very easily, so that way we're not wasting a lot of gas grenades. All right, so jumping into some general gameplay tips for how you're going to run this build, because I know it's a little quirky because a lot of people are used to running thermites or ultimatum and stuff like that, but I'm telling you, the rocket Sentry and the Recoilless are plenty of anti-tank for this build, and the main things that we need is things that can just kill the predator bugs fast and also can keep them under control with the crowd control options. And if you can do that, it's going to make the encounters so much easier, and the anti-tank situations are going to be a breeze. So basically what you're going to be wanting to do is really pacing your Recoilless rifle shots. Yes, you can take out objectives like Shrieker towers and Spore towers, but I would strongly advise not doing that unless you have an extra rocket available or you have resupply readily available. So you want to make sure that you're primarily saving those recoilless shots for those Bile Titans and more importantly for those various charger variants. And then whenever you can, place down the rocket sentry if you see a couple of different anti-tank things coming your way, and you can actually go ahead and place it down and it will help you very much so deal with those things very quickly. But you can reload the recoilless so fast that you're going to be able to deal with whatever is in your way, and it's going to be easy because again it has a good ease of use. And then I can't stress this enough, when you're dealing with a breach, you got to have those gas mines available. It makes those breaches so much easier. If you're on the capture the flag missions, you know exactly where the breaches are coming from. Just throw down the gas mines as soon as you start seeing them pop up, and it's going to make that situation so much easier for you and your team. And then if you have your rocket sentry and your machine gun sentry placed up well nearby each other, attacking these breaches, man, it's gonna make those things a breeze. You're not gonna have to do very much. Then what you can do as well is spray some random cookout shots in the middle of that to catch enemies on fire. It's just such a ridiculously good combo overall in the game. And then lastly, you're gonna have 6 total stims, and that's the reason why I like this build so much, is because you're gonna be able to constantly have stims going, and that heal over time effect is very, very deadly when you pair it with the experimental infusion, because you're going to be taking so much less damage because you're running heavy armor with an extra damage mitigation from experimental infusion, plus you're getting some bonus speed, plus you're getting bonus heal over time. It is just an absolutely deadly combo to be able to keep you alive so much longer versus these predator bugs. And you can actually use the cookout to keep enemies away from you during this time frame, because I survived so many situations that I normally wouldn't if I wasn't running the medkit passive, the heavy variants paired with experimental infusion. And then of course, just as a side note, if you have a teammate that will bring in vitality, it will make it even stronger to run this combo. It's going to be absolutely ridiculous when you pair experimental infusion, the vitality booster, and the heavy medkit armor. It is just a really good combo versus these predator bugs. Alrighty guys, that's it for the combat medic. Let me know what you guys think about this build down in the comments below, and then let me know what builds you guys have been working up to face these predator bugs. I will see you guys very soon in a live stream or in one of these videos. Anyways guys, talk to you later. Peace.